talking about the Shuman Resonance shift and what's happening in our Earth's frequency and magnetism today and in our world. And we got songs. I am dancing about it. It feels like fucking Christmas morning, like I never had it. It's like such an amazing day in the grid workers and light workers of the planet doing their work. So come and have an Earth dance party with me, and I will explain why we're doing this in a moment. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited right now. So let's light a candle together. And a very Earth candle. Welcome, loves. Hi, loves. Whoo! Big breath in your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Exhale everything else out. As you exhale, get into your heartbeat. We're gonna light this candle together. For Mama Earth, for our upgraded adventures on the planet, for everything that's gonna start unfolding on a whole new level now. Yay! Hi, loves. Thank you. I feel amazing. For the first time in a few weeks of doing massive, massive work, I woke up and it felt like Christmas morning, and then the first thing I saw was the Shuman Resonance, and I was like, this is why. This is why. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to show you. I grabbed my iPad so that I can show you what is going on. We're going to go through some things. So this is going to feel like a little mini training, and we're going to fucking do this. You're going to get full on Sonia G powered up mode. And hopefully we'll get to put this on YouTube as well. So you'll always have the replay and all the things, because this is a day, this is a historical day. This is like the actual activation in the ley lines of the Earth, in the crystal core, in the heartbeat of Mother Earth, of all the new circuitry. So we're talking about this. This is the Shuman Resonance. These links are on my story, okay? Those of you that watch this on replay, the place where I like to watch it, if you watch this from forever ago, today's date is January. It feels like January because it feels like a new start. Today's date is June 18th, 2023, okay? 6/18/23. And this is what the Shuman Resonance looks like. So I'm gonna go over here. It's always looked like that, okay? And generally, sometimes it has like spikes. When we get downloads, it has spikes. There's little white spikes that go on over here. It has never, ever in the history of ever, whoa, let me move it right, recorded like that. I know you can see my ring light, but also you can see this. And this is the important part, okay? So see how this looks? See like the sacred geometry in there? See the circuitry, right? And the downloads are coming horizontally instead of vertically. They're coming in parallel lines. Usually they come this way. Usually the lines go up and down. Right now they're going vertical, okay? I mean, they're going horizontal. And do you see all of these bubbles that look like our DNA? They look like what's happening inside of us. So I'm super excited. I wish I could have it to like print and show you, but I know it matches my nails too. It's like everything always works out. Everything always in alignment. So if you're watching this later on, you don't know where to look for this graph, okay? Google Shuman Resonance. I go to Shuman Resonance Live Italy, because Italy was one of the first countries, Italy and Russia were the first two countries that ever tracked the Shuman Resonance. And Italy's graphs are the best. So much like pasta, they understand Shuman resonance. Okay, so this is where you can go. The website is called disclosurenews.it because it stands for Italy. Now, it's full of ads now because once upon a time it was a very, small site. Now, people are starting to get to know it. I've promoted it all along. They now have a presence. They're blowing up. So there's ads all over the place. There's all sorts of information that's not accurate in terms of people's interpretation and channelings and all sorts of things. It has grown into a massive website. Look at the graphs. And let's talk about what it is. I am not saying that everything on this website is accurate. It's far from it. But the graphs are recorded accurately and they show in the best way. Okay? So, hi loves. Also, there's a Shuman app. You can look at it anywhere. So the way that it looks today is totally different. Okay, and it has this thing. So maybe I'll just hold it with me. I'll hold it here so you guys can see what we're talking about. So this is the design. This is the drawing, right? This is kind of what it looks like. So what does this represent? I'm going to give you the short version and then we're going to talk about the long version. And I think we can now pause our music situation because we're talking, but we needed a song to get started. So back up. What's the Shuman resonance? The Shuman resonance is the measurement of the electrocardiogram of the earth. The electrocardiogram is like the ECG for humans. It's on our heartbeat. Okay. So when you go to the doctor and they take your pulse and you see it in a little electrical circuitry thing, because it's an electricity measurement of your heartbeat, of the output of your heartbeat, that's an electrocardiogram, the ECG, your frequency of your heart rate, okay? This is the same for the Earth. Mother Earth's heartbeat is called the Shuman resonance. So it's measured in all sorts of ways. There's all sorts of graphs. So if you go and look at all the other graphs that come with it, underneath it, you actually see all the graphs that have to do with the amplitude. They look more like an ECG that's like a human ECG, and you'll recognize it. You'll see it, okay, if you go and look in there. So this is because the Earth is alive, and the Earth outputs this beat, this frequency, this magnetism, okay, which is called Schumann's resonance. Why is it called Schumann resonance? Because the man that first measured it, his last name was Schumann. So now we call it the Schumann's resonance. But it's Earth's heartbeat, okay? And usually it's, below 10 hertz. Usually it hovers somewhere between 7 and 9 hertz. Kind of like we have a rhythm. We do that 60 beats per minute, somewhere around there. So heartbeats are adjusting. We sync with the Earth's heartbeat. What happens as a result of our heartbeat as humans? We emanate a field. When our pulse is weak, what happens? Our energy is weak. When our pulse is strong and powerful, we are really in the body, our health is on, right? We feel good. Not hypertension, not what I'm saying, a strong heartbeat inside any human, right? What do they say when babies are born? They have a strong heartbeat. It's it's on, right? So this is an important thing. I'm making a point here, so stay with me. So this is the heartbeat of Mother Earth, okay? Sometimes the Earth historically has had heart attacks, which we see, for example, let me see if I can pull one up actually. Recently, because I don't know if we can see it on the same way, but we've had peaks of the Shuman resonance when the sun has flares, right? So the sun ejects these massive coronal ejections, like the CMEs, solar flares. They come down to Earth, right? When they hit the magnetic sphere, which is the magnetism that is created by the heartbeat, which was the point that I was making, in humans, when we have a strong heartbeat, we actually have a strong aura, right? Unless it's, those two things don't coincide. If you're carrying a bunch of burdens, then that's not really it. But every one of us has a magnetic field. That magnetic field is sustained by your heartbeat, okay? And then obviously we elevate it by an elevated frequency, by vibrating higher. It's our vibration, it's everything, okay? Every grid on the planet that we talk about, okay, there's 3D grids, there's 5D grids, there's 12D grids, there's 39D grids, there's celestial grids, there's, lower vibrational grids, there's like matrixy grids, there's, all sorts of lower vibrational spheres. So everyone will land on the grid that they're a match for. And there's no filter for that. You either are a match for it or you're not, right? So you're either on the frequency or you're not. You're either a magnet to it or not. Like there's no filter for our frequency. So it's not about, I think I'm here or I think I'm not. You either are or you aren't. It's one of those things. So everybody is at their own ascension layer journey. Everybody will always connect to the grid that they're a match for. The frequency that you're a match for is determined by the rate of vibration of your cells, okay, of your body, which is dependent on, the frequency that you radiate at, so your heartbeat, and then of course your genes, right? If you're still carrying the traumas of your ancestors in your generation, you haven't done your generational healing, then your magnetism is going to be inclusive of all of the traumas, which means you're a match for a grid where that still does exist. When you clear through some traumas, when you clear through all of the, certain things, then you become a match for the higher vibrational grids because you have transmuted, you have healed, you have shifted. So now you're a match for a higher vibrational grid. But you're not a match for a higher vibrational grid if you bypass the shit, okay? You're a match for a higher vibrational grid if you do the work and therefore elevate yourself to land on a higher vibrational grid. That's the thing, okay? So now, Earth's heartbeat, the Shuman resonance, is beating differently because the sun, all of the planetary shifts, everything that's happening in the cosmic planes is sending down information, downloads, light codes. They're all coming in. Where do those land? They land inside of our physical body, crown chakra, okay? Third eye headaches, all of those things. Those are from your downloads that, we're catching. They also come into your auric field. I mean, we don't want those, but that's a symptom. Not that we want the symptoms. That's just like, where it's in evidence. And all of the downloads come down and they hit the grids of the planet. So when the downloads, when all of the coding, when the light codes vibrate in a certain way, they will land on a particular grid, right? When they vibrate in another way, they will land on this grid. But everything that's higher, right, higher frequency, higher magnetics, will collect on a certain grid. There's different grid levels. So what has happened right now, so the Earth is made of very different layers, which is why there's people that live in all sorts of different ways, which is why there are beliefs and rules in spiritual systems that are true for some people, and those people live on those grids. There's beliefs, ways of doing life, and different laws that are upheld by certain people, and those people live in a higher way, in a different way, right? Everything is true for the people that believe in it. So what's happened right now, so knowing all of this, now we understand what we're working with, okay? So now all of these downloads have come in. The Earth has been preparing for this moment. And what happened right before today is we had a blackout, right? So the Shuman resonance went on blackout, which means all the systems got unplugged and all the circuitry got unplugged. And then what I've been saying for a while is that the Shuman resonance, that the Earth is going to get upgraded, that we are getting upgraded circuitry, right? So upgraded circuitry inside of our systems, inside of our physical system, inside of our mental circuitry, inside of all of the things that are us, including the Earth, we're getting upgraded. So as of today, which thing I thought would happen tomorrow, not tomorrow, on the solstice, man, time is like flexible right now. which thing I thought would happen on the solstice, the cord got replugged. And now we went from like 120 voltage to 220 voltage. And the electricity of the earth has shifted, and it's fully reflected in this graph. So when we had the blackout, okay, which is this little tiny strip, which you can barely see it, but this was a blackout, okay, representation of a blackout. So the plug was pulled. This was before, this was after. New circuitry. We now run on upgraded circuitry. The earth went through the upgrade. The earth's heartbeat is now beating differently. The magnetism of the earth is different. The earth can now sustain, catch, hold, and broadcast different codings for reality. This is a big moment. This is like the resurrection of celestial earth in frequency, right? So it's a concept of internal resurrection, and the resurrection has to do with our genes. So you literally can see it because in the drawings, oh look, this is really good. Let's unplug this. You can see it, and it looks like, I feel like the weatherman showing you guys like these. But it looks like DNA, right? It looks like DNA strands with sacred geometry. It looks like cells. It looks like sacred geometry and information streaming through them. It looks like a bunch of eyes. It looks like our pituitary gland, our pineal gland, right? Our third eye. So all of this is all encoded messages for us. And it's like such a celebration. And so all the grids that I explained, right? So if you're jumping on now, you're going to rewind later and watch this. So these are all the different grids. Usually the downloads come this way. Today they're coming horizontally. Okay. So why? Why did we need to go cover all the things that I covered before? You're like, get to the fucking point. There's always a reason why I teach you the baseline so that you understand now what I'm about to say. Okay. So these are all the grids. All the grids lay on top of each other, okay? In time, there's grid works in time and space and planes of existences. So the people on this grid are receiving this. The people on this grid are receiving this. The people on this grid are receiving this. The people on the higher vibrational grids are receiving different layers of downloads. They get chunkier. They get more and more downloady. The people that are on the top grids are receiving massive amounts of information. This is the shit we've been preparing for, okay? So if you've been doing the work and you're at what I call the edge of what is available, the edge of what is possible, like the work that I've been doing in my advanced courses, inside of memberships like Area 27, that's really the only place. And inside of Star Codex Crystallize, this is the work that we're doing. We're right here. We're downloading. We're rewriting, right? We are doing all of this massive, massive work where we're receiving and we're integrating. And then we're going all the way down. But every layer of everything is receiving an upgrade. Do you see this? On every grid, there is an upgrade. The higher grids are just receiving a shit ton of information. And it's our job to sustain it, okay? It's our job to be able to process it. It's our job to translate it, okay? So it's our job to be able to have everything ready in our body. So what is the work? What is the work that we've been doing? Obviously, everything is changing. You understand that even the recordings, the way that the graphs of the Shuman Resonance have never been like this, ever, ever, ever. Not once in recorded history, ever. Now, the fact that it's at 185 of the Shuman Resonance, so the heartbeat is very high and the earth is receiving downloads, this has happened before. The Shuman Resonance has spiked all the way to 700 before. The big news, it's not that we're at 185. This is a big moment. Yes, there's a lot of downloads coming in, but that's not it. This is the big thing. It's the fact that now all the grids are represented. It's the fact that we've shifted dimensions of time, okay? We have fully shifted. Whoops, sorry. This keeps kind of moving. And I want to show you something else, okay? So yeah, tag your friends that need to hear this stuff, my loves. Definitely invite your friends. Send this to your friends, because this is, nowhere else are you going to get this, right? But now that I tell you this, people are going to start talking about it, because there's a lot of places that talk about the Shuman resonance, but no, this is my job. Like, this is my calling. This is my soul's mission on planet Earth. So you're going to hear it first. My students are the people that are going to hear it first, right? We had a party in Area 27 this morning where 2 weeks ago, we did all of this upgraded work. All of it. We went inside of ourselves and got ready all the way from heaven to earth for all of this. And now here we are. Now we're ready. We upgraded our circuits. It wasn't even 2 weeks ago. It was on the 11th. So it was 7 days ago. We had a week. And I knew we had to do it on that day. Yeah, Mark. It was amazing. We did it like right on the mark. And it was strange. The date, I knew I had to pick that day, but I was like, why wouldn't we do this work on the solstice? I really did think that we were going to do this work on the solstice, but it was like, nope, it has to happen now. And why? Because the earth is going to integrate this heartbeat, and these grids have to activate and start to integrate for what's coming next on the solstice. On the solstice, all these higher grids are going to be like, vibrating in a whole new way. I mean, everything that's coming in now is going to land on these grids. Does that make sense? Like, everything on the earth has now shifted. And so this is the work that we've been doing the work for. Everything that we've done up till this point has been to prepare our physical body, right, to clear cellular trauma, doubts, fears, the bullshit, right? All of the things that keep us down. We've been done all the work to clear it and to get light inside of our body, because light will be able to hold the higher frequencies that are coming in. Light matches light, like to make more room. Then we had to upgrade our chakras. Do you remember all the work that we've done from like 7 chakras in the body with all the colors, all spinning, all, understanding. Then all of our chakras went into a chakra pillar. Everything got upgraded to crystalline. Everything got connected to the 13th floor chakra pillar, which is where higher self is. We got connected to the crystal kingdom. We started exchanging light on that level. Then we went all the way up through the ancestral chakras, then through the source code chakras. Then the connection and the grids got established all the way to 39D. Now we had a solid connection. Then the galactic grid had to go in at 27D. This is why Area 27, this is the galactic center. Okay, we had to establish all of this framework of reality together with our galactic family. We had to go up there, create all the circuitry, all the paths for everything to be able to hold. Because you can't just blast a planet with these downloads and, let's hope that everything lands and the people, catch the frequency and integrate it. So we had to do all this work in order to be able to actually have the infrastructures, the frameworks of reality in the astral planes, in the cosmic planes. For some of you guys, it's like, whoa, what the hell are you talking about? But this is my job. Your job and everybody's job, right? So I can go up there with my special ops squad. We do this work. We're at the, edge of this. We get to prepare all of these things. We actually do this like ninja light worker work up there in the cosmos. And then days like this happens and it's like, this is what I've been talking about. This is like the stuff that I live for, because now it shows in the physical. Everybody can see it. And now I can explain to you guys, this is what you have to integrate. So whether or not you feel called to doing the work in the cosmos and in the astral planes, your body, your physical body has to be able to sustain this new frequency. So you get to do the work in the physical. You don't have to, but you get to if you want to feel better, if you want to vibrate higher, right? And, those of you that have been watching me and watch my journey recently, and everybody that's inside of my mastermind that's called Light and Metaphysics, which is the mastery experience of the self, we really get deep into the very high level concept of mastery, where we are responsible on every level for every ounce of our own experience here on earth in every possible way. And one of the things, whenever you go through concepts that are very elevated on a certain subject, and they hold you to higher standards of thinking, higher standards of consciousness, higher standards of how you express yourself, like everything just kind of elevated. And you work, to truly master yourself and elevate yourself on a higher level, then all sorts of things kind of open up. So in this course, recently, I went through my own moment in my own journey. We were working on mastery of health, on everything that had to do with health in our bodies. And as I'm teaching this course, and I know mastery was on, this is why I launched this course, the Mystery School experience, because I was like, what's coming to Earth on this solstice? We need mastery, right? And I've taught the rewriting of the stars, rewriting of the birth chart, the up-leveling of the physical body inside of Light Body Rehab, the full mastery of every area of your life, right? I've been teaching things to prepare all along. This is why being inside of Extraordinaire, which is my year-long membership, is such a good idea, because it's all the work to prepare for all the things. But anyways, inside this course, I'm teaching the health things. And in this very human moment of life, I have this full stress hitting me from every corner of the planet, from Henry going in for emergency surgery at home, from things happening with my family in Italy, with my father, with like the brother's new baby being born. There's so many things that were happening, and it was stress on all levels, and a new hire in the company, like all sorts of things that were going on. Not bad things, just things that were needing to be handled. And some things that were very, very deep, very actually stressful. Like, when someone in your household has surgery, all of a sudden there's a lot and they can't move their arm. There's a lot going on. But not someone in your household, but your partner and the person that you love. So there was a whole lot going on, and my stress levels hit in a way that I manifested a whole health situation for myself, where I even had lost my voice, my breath went shallow, right? I kind of was like, why am I stressing like this? And then I realized that's not it. I'm teaching the health, department of life inside of this mastery course experience. Why the fuck would this be happening right now? God, angels, universe, right? Let's talk. Higher self, what's going on? And one of the deepest understandings for me is the fact that we all have, listen very carefully, we all have a section of our life that we learn through. Specifically one that's like your pain point, right? Maybe for you, it's not health. For me, it's definitely health. Maybe for you, it comes through your romantic life. Maybe for you, it's love partnerships. Maybe for you, it's your children. Maybe for you, it's your relationship with your parents, or your lack of a relationship with your parents. Maybe for you, it's money and your job, right? Maybe for you, it's something else. For a lot of people, for a lot of light worker, this, can be health. But there is one section of life where generally our lessons come through. If we don't understand them in any other way, that lesson, that way of, the thing that we need to understand will come to us in one way or another. And I'm not available for that to happen through heartbreaks. That's not a thing for me. Love works for me, period. I have zero availability for that. Life works for me, period. There are certain things that I am not available for, but I realized in my mastery experience that if I have to learn, if really, really should I have to learn anything that I'm not understanding for any way, where am I open for that lesson to come? And it is through my health, because whenever anything happens to me in my physical body, it's like everything gets put on pause and I figure it the fuck out. I always do. So what happened through this learning experience is I had to be like, I have to just, like suspend reality and figure out what's going on. And within this time of me not feeling well, this is where I got all the downloads for all of these things and all of this work that we've been doing. I upgraded my entire circuitry. I rewired my whole body. I rewired everything that goes all the way up, right, through all the planes of existences. And I taught people how to do it ahead of time for this. So there was a big reason. It wasn't just some random thing that my vibration happened to, oh, well, you screwed up. You master of light, you screwed up. Your vibration went down and now you got sick and you must have done something wrong. Or I had to get this because a lot of people judge when those things happen, right? Which is fine. And I got a lot of people that with love said, hey, you know what? When I get sick, I just shift it. And it just goes away. And I just, call in my sovereignty. And I was like, yeah, but that's not what this is about. Remember that if ever this happens to you, and I'm telling you this from my heart, if this ever happens to you, remember that this is your personal ascension experience. And the way that you learn is different than the way that anybody else learns. So if you learn through health, or if you learn through love, or if you learn through money, or if you learn through your family history, or if you learn through whatever your pain point button is in life, whatever thing it is that if you push on it, right, that's where it hits, it's for you. It's like your own ascension path. And, like I always say, if we don't learn in the positive, it comes to us in another way. So if for some reason we don't catch up with our original divine blueprint in time, because we get busy with human life, we have fail-safes. So our understanding has to happen. We have to calibrate one way or another. For me, one of those ways is with health, right? And not that this is good. I really wanted to come in another way. But when I get radically honest with myself, this information started coming in a while ago for me, and I just never actually did, put it all together. But this information and the downloads had started coming in. Somehow I had not connected the dots through any other, because I also get to have all sorts of amazing and beautiful galactic missions and all sorts of cool things. There's so much to be done that sometimes we get, exploring the cosmos, the galaxies, manifesting all this amazing life on planet Earth, working with clients, birthing things. I feel like I have such an extraordinarily filled with amazing good things life that sometimes it just doesn't fit. And there's no more, space. And so the space gets to be created. And if I don't create it, if I don't hear, take 2 days off fully, clear your schedule, clear everything out, cancel this course. If I don't hear that in any other way, then it will come, in health. So it's not that it didn't try to tell me that, but it just didn't click in that way. So these are the things that happen, right? And what a beautiful, extraordinary thing that now I know to tell you and I know to teach all of these things. So the bottom line is, depending on how you're feeling, okay, on all of this, if you are feeling right now fantastic and amazing today, and if you are feeling harmonized, then you've been doing the work for the circuitry to be in alignment. If you feel tired today, if you feel compressed or bogged down, or if you feel any kind of ascension symptoms, then that is your cue to go and upgrade your whole system. And by your whole system, I mean all of your chakras, all the way from the core of the earth through to your physical body and all the way up to your higher self. But specifically in the physical body, this is a physical upgrade. This means that your physical body has to sustain higher frequencies in order to resonate harmoniously with Mother Earth, okay? So I think it's really cool that it's happened today too. In the United States, today is Father's Day. I feel like there's a connection with the divine masculine energy. I know it's not Father's Day all around the planet, but a lot of times things come through, you know, in the United States coding only because there's a lot of light workers that were called here. And a bunch of a lot of light workers that were called to the United States were not born in the United States. Like, I'm one of them. We just felt at some point of our life the crazy knowingness that we had to move to the United States. And so we did. And because this is where a lot of these events unfold and they anchor in. A lot of the grids that are responsible for the rest of the planet start here. And so this is the situation. So I feel like it's also linked to the energy of the father, to the divine masculine energy, and the energy of time, because this is a switch of circuitry. And so I feel like we've switched time circuitry. And so it's kind of interesting to think of Mother Earth and Father Time together as, like, you know, the heavens being like masculine and the earth being feminine. So I feel like there's a connection to that. But remember that this is just about, it's not just about, the big deal is about syncing with the new circuits. So the earth is running on new circuitry. Do your work and do your upgrading, okay? Everything inside has to clear. So clearing out the old and bringing in the new. And obviously this is a long explanation for work, and, you know, it's simplified, but the work is very, very deep. It's not just, you know, let's do some journaling, let's light a candle and burn some sage and do a moon circle and call it, right? Even though all those things are good and they're fun and they help, all those things help, but this is profound, genetic, dig in and actually do the motherfucking heavy lifting, emotional, physical work in order to get to where you're going. This, in order to switch your circuitry to something like this, you really have to deal with yourself. You have to face yourself. There is an overcoming of the self that has to occur. This is the moment where your ego comes into check, where your ego goes from working against you to working with you. This is the place where all the parts of you and all the layers of who you are work in concert, work in harmony. This is a part where you and your higher self, all the layers of your higher self, through time and planes of existences, okay, and space. So you and your Pleiadian counterpart, your Sirian counterpart, your Andromedan counterpart, your Lyran counterpart, all of your counterparts that you've tracked down and you've connected wherever those are. Maybe it's not those, maybe you have others, right? But wherever they are, higher selves, and sometimes it's also lower selves, because we're, you know, time is like so fluid and the timelines are so mobile. You get to now create a new experience, a new story. Oh, and I wanted to show you this because it's fucking extraordinary. This is important. You have to do the work. My loves, this is the work I teach inside Star Codex Crystallize, which is a course to resurrect to higher frequencies. This is the moment that the earth has resurrected to higher frequency. It's literally in the tagline of my course. Like, I couldn't have dreamed it fucking better. Like, I couldn't have downloaded it better. This course is made for this moment of time. I highly recommend you register in this course. We have our first introductory welcome call on the 20th. Right before the solstice. I don't even know what else to say. Like, the earth has said it all for me. Like, if you're not inside this course, you're going to have to do this stuff. So I highly recommend it. We had the first group that went through this course in March. They had such extraordinary experiences. Like, half of them became affiliates, and they're actually like telling all their people about this course. This is the very first time I've ever had people become affiliates of a course. Like, for the first time, I'm running it as like a whole affiliate thing because I believe in this work so much. And this is such an elevated way of doing this work to resurrect to higher frequencies. So inside of Star Codex Crystallize, what we do is we unplug for the old systems and we plug into the new system. So you're literally going to do the exact work that the earth just went through. You're going to unplug your old circuits and you're going to replug to the new circuits, but you're going to create it because the new place is a place of creation. It's a whole new place. So if you go and look, this is the chart for today. This is the astrological chart. Okay. Do you see it? There we go. Let's put it in the ring light. So these are the planets. Okay. And the day that the Shuman resonance shifted. So, hi, baby. Henry is on. Hi, honey. So look, do you see this? It starts with Pluto in the 12th house. This change is ushered by Pluto in the 12th house, of course, but we know this because Pluto is retrograde, right? So in the 12th house, we have Pluto, but you're saying, but Sonia G, our chart starts at number 1. Yes, it does. So this starts with Jupiter and Neptune and Chiron. Okay, so if you go look at today's chart, so it starts with the changes that Pluto just brought on, because Pluto just went retrograde, which is when we recorded a lot of the work that we did inside of Star Codex Crystallize, which you will have instant access to as soon as you register, but we will be doing on the 30th. We're starting this work on the 30th of this month. So everything that was set in motion by Pluto, because the 12th house is that of transmutation. It's the house of the occult. It's the house of the secrets where all the things go down, right? So after that, then you go to Jupiter. Jupiter is resetting all the things in abundance. I mean, when you look at that Shuman Resonance Graph, wasn't that in abundance? Wasn't that in magic, right? And then we have Neptune telling the new stories, okay? So Neptune, who is going retrograde on the 30th, which we're going to catch this whole thing. Then there's Chiron. Chiron is all of your weaknesses and strength combined in one, the spirit of the warrior, that now we get to shift and rewrite the story. So this whole story, anyways, if you go and look at it, it's very telling of everything that's happening. We get to rewrite it. This whole thing gets to be rewritten. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Saturn. These are the lessons of Saturn. This was Saturn. This is Jupiter. I can't really read it, so I was looking at the colors. But this is Saturn and this is Jupiter. So I said it wrong. Cancel. But so it's the lessons of Saturn, okay? Jupiter is right by the North Node, and it's in the 2nd house, and it's together with, like, the North Node is the direction that we're going, and it's also by Chiron. And it's like, this is where all of the new systems get to be rewritten in abundance. So everything that I'm saying, right, everything that I said fully applies in that it's everything under this new reset of how we're doing it. So how are you going to create it? So inside of Star Codex Crystallize, and then, you can go and look at through all of the different things that are unfolding. But it's interesting because it's, all the planets are lined up right here. It's a very resetting journey. This is the underworld. And then you're going to go through this other part of creation. So one of the things that is important to understand is that you are in charge of your creation. But if you don't know how to create it and it's blank, then you're not knowing how to code for yourself. And that's like a very real thing because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And this is why coaches are important. This is why mentorship is important. This is why having somebody that will guide you through the experience, having a guide, having a mentor, having a coach is very important. Somebody that understands this path and can say, this is how this unfolds. This is what to do. Because a lot of times, right, it's kind of like when you're bored and you have nothing to do. Should that ever happen, how do you make use of your time, right? Can you create from the unknown? Can you create from impossible to possible? Do you have the skills and tools and knowledge to actually bring dreams into the now? Bring a future that doesn't exist yet into the now? This is the work that we're doing inside of Star Codex Crystallize. We recode your entire birth chart to get reset on higher circuitry, okay? So go to moonbabetribe.com/Star Codex, or just go to moonbabetribe.com and then go to the menu and click on Start Codex Crystallize and go check it out. I invite you with like all my heart to come and do this work and reset your circuitry, reset everything that is in your birth chart, which is the coding of you. Everything that's in your birth chart is the codes of your personality that you carry out. It's so extraordinary and so significant. It's everything that the stars have held in place for you. The stars and the planets have held this coding in place for you for your entire life. Now, you get to shift it. But astrology doesn't change itself. Your birth chart doesn't change itself. You have to go in and switch it and change it, right? When you listen to astrology and astrologers now, it feels sometimes like it's outdated, right? It feels like we've heard these things before. It feels like these stories are worn out. There's no more energy left in them because that's exactly it. We get to create the new ways. So if you feel called to creating the new ways, come and join me. I'm so excited for it. Let's always remember today as the day that the Shuman Resonance up-leveled to new circuitry, to higher circuitry, to celestial circuitry, to showing us all of the grids of planet Earth and the downloads that are available. And remember that to connect to this level of an experience, while it is here and it is available, you get to match it. So match it within you. Love to love, higher frequency to higher frequency, light to light. This is how we integrate and we synchronize, right? And just go do your work. Don't get distracted. I'm like, there's so many things. From my heart, don't get distracted from the bullshit of the world. You know, some things are important, but remember, your job is always your light work. That's first. We came here on mission. We came here on a commitment to Mother Earth. Like, we have big, extraordinary purposes inside of ourselves. We have big soul missions and like blueprints for this life. This is the stuff. All of the physical things that we are, manifesting, this is practice. I often say this. I often teach about money and money things because this is practice. If we can figure out how to utilize our energy and our belief systems to manifest something as practical and as material as money, a house and this and that, right? All of a sudden we are understanding how to utilize our energy field. And then the other good thing about that is that then we don't worry about the money anymore because we have the money and we figured out how to manifest the money. So now we can actually do the real work, which is the grid work, the portal keeping work, the Stargate work, all of our higher powers kind of work. That's the real work that we're here, right? But in the process of unfolding all of these other things that have to do with our human life, we remember, it's like we excavate all of these knowingness that are inside of ourselves. Say, oh yeah, who knew that on my way to becoming a multimillionaire, I would have dealt with all of these traumas inside of my genes that said all of these things that came from the conditioning of all of these generations of women in business and money making, that now I get to break that pattern, right? So it's all intertwined and it all connects because this is an all-inclusive human experience because we're here as big spirits inside of little tiny human bodies. So it all connects. But remember, our real work is this. Our real work is we're creating all of these systems of new earth, all of this grid work of reality, okay? So go sync up with the earth, spend some time, ask what you need, right? Like, get into your heart, connect down with the earth. Don't just go and take a walk on the earth without really thinking about it. Get conscious, breathe, send your pulsar, your radar down, all the way down. Reach the heartbeat of the earth. Reach the crystals at the core of the earth. Don't just walk across the surface of the earth. Everybody can fucking do that. You're better than that. I know that because you're here. You're on my channel and you're tuned in to this conversation. So I know that. Send your energy. Learn to send your energy all the way down. Okay. And of course, I'm always going to push you to do things at the, what you're capable of, at the edge of what you're capable of. If you're just starting to awaken to higher principles of, spirituality, and all you can do is, have a prayer in your heart and walk barefoot on the earth, and that's where you're at, then that's great. But if you've been doing this work for a while and for years, you better have figured out how to send your light all the way down to the heart of the earth and do this work and stay with it and get your downloads and uploads, right? Remember I was talking about uploads? Any of you that are confused watching this, go back through. There's a section in my IGTV that's called, the Moon Babes Monday Night Lives. Go back through those. I'm going to add this. Actually, I'm going to add this to the mini training sections of the lives. But they're all on there. You can go back through. Go and look through all the things that I've talked about. Ascension Phase 3. This is it, right? It's now you've had the first renderings in physical form today with this shift. But this is the Ascension Phase 3. This is the downloads and uploads. They're coming up back from the earth, like downloads from the sky, uploads from the earth. I've been talking about these things. So, and those of you that feel called to come and do the work with me inside of Star Codex or inside of Area 27, those are like the courses where I'm, doing that work at the edge. So at the edge of what's available and what's possible for all of you special ops team, like the Ninja Lightworkers of the Cosmos. Let me know if you have questions. Here on Instagram, you can find me at Moonbabes and the Light Tribe. And if you Google Sonia G, Moonbabes and the Light Tribe, everything comes up. You'll find my YouTube, you'll find my podcast. You'll find the app that you can download that's now available everywhere on all the places you can download apps for phones and computers and things. So exciting. And then, let me know if you have questions here on Instagram at Moonbabes and the Light Tribe. And then my website is moonbabetribe.com. And you can find it here in the link in my bio. Okay. I love y'all so much. Happy frequency shift. Happy Shuman shift. We will forever remember this solstice as the one that marked the change in our entire grid work experience. This is a big deal. This is a big, big, big moment. Everything changed today in the circuitry of how we experience our spiritual life and our physical life on planet Earth. Everything shifted. Make sure that you don't miss it. Make sure you don't go and party like a rock star tonight because it's Sunday night. Pay attention. These are the moments that count. Make it count. I love you. Mwah.